Hey, what's up, everyone? We are live. New setup here for me. Waiting on the other guys to show up. They're stuck in either LA traffic or just stuck in traffic in general. So, happy Thursday night. Happy second week of fantasy football. Got Jalen Hurts on my team. He just scored a touchdown, so I'm pretty happy about that. It was a rushing touchdown, which counts for more in my league. But hope everyone's Thursday's going good. Trying to do some new stuff for the show and all that good stuff. So hopefully in the next coming weeks, we'll see some new improvements to the channel as well. Just want to give a shout out to Rasper, who is always supporting the show, always one of the first to kind of come through and comment. And thank you for catching the replay, my friend. Brad Selden, always in the chat. Thanks so much for coming through. We have kind of a light lineup today. We don't have that many people coming up. There's just work schedules. Vinny's in, I think he's like in East Europe trying to fight off like Russia or something. I'm not really sure, but just kidding. But myself, I got some stuff going on just with family and whatnot, but I still wanted to get a show in today. Baseball season's coming to an end. We got some new, we got football coming up. We don't really spec a lot on football, so I don't have a lot of spec, or we don't have a lot of spec on football lately. Comics have been okay. Obviously not a lot going on with the MCU studios and the strikes going on, so it's been kind of tough for that, but I do appreciate everyone coming through and supporting the show. With that said, let us get on with the show. All right. And I just realized that we are going to be down basically everyone today. So I may just cut this one short. Yeah, I don't really know what to talk about today, except for a couple of things I just saw on. See, there was an announcement. I don't know if it was yesterday or the other day, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has showed up. Let's see here. Ralph actually mentioned this being something to look out for, but yeah, like I said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer has hit the airwaves here. However, there is a release date and pre-order on, let's see here, Square Enix itself. I checked out. I'm gonna put that link in the chat real quick. Let's see. I think this might be a nice play. I would say actually Ralph probably thinks this is a nice play, but the collector's edition right here, there's a link to the bio there, but you can pre-order basically part 2. I don't know if there's going to be a part 3 to Final Fantasy VII, but it looks like if you go to Square Enix, let's see, you can pre-order it now. Now, obviously, like the regular video game is just, $70, kind of your standard. But however, let's see here. Where is it? If you go to the Square Enix store, you can pre-order, and this might be a nice little flip. Let's see, PS5. It's still on PS5, so you have that. So you have the standard edition. Looks pretty cool. Deluxe. It looks, it looks okay. The deluxe doesn't look bad. That's what comes with the deluxe version. You get a Rebirth game, obviously the exclusive steelbook case, soundtrack, and art book. The collector's edition with that Sephiroth, though, it's only $349. And I know when Final Fantasy 16 came out, the collector's editions were selling for like $600. That's an easy like double flip there. So something to kind of look out for next year. Along with just the excitement of the part 2 of the series. I watched the trailer today and it actually looked pretty cool. So good stuff there. Let's see here. Well, I don't know where the guys are going to be at, so we're just gonna start with the show here. Hold on one second. We don't have any sneakers this week. Ralph, again, he had to tend to dad duties, so usually he's our sneaker guy. I don't have any sneaker stuff to talk about today, so unfortunately there's no sneaker stuff. And then just a couple of things I was kind of thinking about. updating the comic books. Trey's not here in this week. He's working actually in Texas, I believe. But usually he's our comic guy, obviously. So, but something I was kind of I actually read this comic book, Dead by Daylight. If you guys don't know, it's a comic book adaptation. So pretty cool comic. The video game had a pretty big following. I'll look at some video game content of it later, but the story is actually pretty good. The first issue, which is shown here, this is like cover A. There's a foil cover you guys can look at, but I just went with the cover A for the story. So basically, it's like, think of it as, instead of the villain chasing after the people, it's the people chasing after the villain. So it's kind of like a horror movie in reverse. I don't necessarily know if like what the whole premise of the video game is, but the first comic book reads pretty good. I would say it was a pretty good read. But if you're speculating, this might be one of those like 3 to 4 years down the road, they come out with either a Dead by Daylight #2, or it could come to fruition like in 5 to 7 years, something like that. But still cover price. Each comic book comes polybagged, and it comes with a code for the video game, which is pretty cool. And then, Ahsoka did really well. I know a lot of people have been watching Ahsoka, and it's got like, 10 out of 10, best episode ever. Filoni we trust, that type of stuff. But this Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video game, I just really think that the storyline for this video game in particular might be something that possibly Marvel looks into later down the road. It was a great video game. There's a sequel to it even. This retailed for like 509.8. I know this because I was looking for it for a long time, but I think it's come down to around 200 to 150. In this market, who knows? You may get it for like 120 to 150. I probably wouldn't go more than 175 and a 9.8, but something to think about. First appearance of, I forgot which sister it is, but basically the antagonist of Fallen Order. If you haven't played the video game, it's a great video game. The second one comes out with a pretty cool collector's edition as well. So just kind of check that out. Let's see here. Next up, some magazines to look out for. This magazine market's very interesting to me just because I don't see, there's just such a broad array of different magazines you can look at. But the strategy guides, I still think are really cool. This Xenosaga strategy guide goes for like 30 to 40 bucks. So you can find it like either at a third place books, or not third place books, but half price books, that type of thing. Snag it for 10 to 12 bucks and either get it graded or hold on to it, pair it up with a sealed or CIB Xenosaga PS2 game. And then I thought what was really cool, yeah, and Wilbur, you are absolutely correct. The Fallen Order series had some incredible variant covers. That was actually my favorite one out of all of them. And if you're a fan of the video game, it was pretty cool too. Thanks for joining us today, Wilbur. And then Marge Simpson Maxim. I don't know if you guys know about this issue, but it's going for really cheap. But I feel like in a few years, I mean, kids are like, Simpsons is still a very mega property. And with the onset of grading and just collectability, you're kind of crossing two genres, right? It's not like a very sexual magazine, but the fact you have Marge Simpson on a Maxim, I thought was a really cool combination in itself. But again, if you can find this for like $2 or $3, I know this. I saw this last sale went for like 20, and this is a subscription issue. So typically, from my understanding, subscription issues are tough and high grade because they're rolled up and put into a mailbox versus on the newsstand. I'm still trying to figure out if newsstands are worth more than subscriptions, but I just thought that was a really cool piece to own and maybe seek out for. Let's see here. And then video games that are coming out. Obviously, I mentioned Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but also this Life of P. Life of P. It comes out on September 19th. Sorry. This is the collector's edition. This retails for around $149.99. Now, the premise of this game, and there hasn't been a lot of talk about it, which is why I think it may fall kind of under the wayside. You may not have to like necessarily pre-order it, but if it catches fire being like one of those like top 10 video games of the year, you may miss your chance out on this. But basically, the story of this game is that it's a human Pinocchio. And it's based off a novel from like 1750s or something like that. And yeah, basically that's the spec on this guy. It's done by a very small studio, which is named, let me see here, Life P. NeoWiz Games. And again, this comes out on the 19th across platforms. It's all over. It's on Xbox, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Xbox One, Series X, and Series S, and PS5. So be on the lookout for that. I think it might be an intriguing collectible. Again, a tough thing with video games is just the storage of it. So if you got a lot of video games, be able to open up those closets, fairly quickly there. All right. And last but not least, we got movie and steelbook spec. I was just kind of looking over, and these aren't necessarily newer things, but just stuff I just noticed that have kind of come up on my radar. But this limited edition of 3,000, this is a Scarface collector's edition. I think it was sold in the UK. Retails for about $79.99, and the presentations of these are pretty cool. But Al Pacino's not getting any younger, and I feel like this is always a genre of, like, if you think of gangster movies, like this is the one, in my opinion. Just with it, and it hits all streams of like media. To this day, it's one of those top movies that every dude wants to watch. And this was kind of a cool piece. You don't see a lot of like numbered collectibles, but for $80, I thought that was a pretty good deal. If you can get this in high grade, send it to CGC, send it to IGS, whomever you think. It might be a nice one to kind of display or put away for some time. And then kind of a newer one, Spider-Man No Way Home. This retails for about $99.99. It's another 4K Blu-ray box set. This one isn't sealed, the one I found, but I did find that it retails for $99.99. There are a multitude of these steelbooks for the more popular movies. I just thought this one really popped. It's like, it's basically the newer version of Spider-Man's seal, or whatever you want to call it. So and again, I want to say hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, just flying solo tonight. I don't know if we may get one more dude in today. I'm not sure, so we'll see. But appreciate you all coming through. Just trying to do another show. I guess another show. So let's see here. All right, so we are beasting through this show tonight. Again, this is kind of a quick show, 13 minutes in. I just want to say again, thanks for everyone for stopping by, listening to, or showing support, watching our show. Again, this is a really quick show, so maybe get like a ton of views on it since it's so slow, or since it's so short. But this is our this or that segment. I'll just get into it real quick. But before I go into that, let's see here. We didn't get to talk about it. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to piggyback on that sometime soon. But I wanted to talk about Ethan Salas and Felnin Celesten. I won't really be able to get into that until Ralph gets back. So yeah, we'll just get into the this or that and end the show here. Let's see here. All right, chat, help me out. I'm flying solo tonight. And speaking of Ethan Salas, so we got a Spawn 119 Newsy Raw that went for $100. And then this Lake Elsinore, I hope I'm saying that right, sealed set. So basically the importance of this sealed set is it's the minor league team that Ethan Salas is on. Big prospect for, I forgot, he's a catcher for, I want to say the Mets. No, sorry, San Diego. That's right. Chat, help me out. Who do you guys got? All 5 of you that are in the chat today. Who do you guys got? Now we're down to 3. So I'll just move on to the next slide. I guess if you guys want to comment in the rewind tonight, I appreciate it. Let me know I'm doing something good for the community here. All right, number 2, you got $300. This was really cool. I thought this Dune 4K limited sealed. At first, I thought it was a book or even like a cassette tape, but it's a 4K version of the original Dune from the 80s It was like 85. I can't remember exactly, but went for $300. And then Lorcana, I mean, still staying strong. I haven't really looked into a lot of like key foils. I mean, it's just too expensive at this point. But Lorcana, Wayward Lorcana, Mickey Mouse, the Wayward Sorcerer went for $300. Chat, rewind. What do you guys got? What's up, Omar? Thanks for coming through, man. I'll take the comp because I know zero about cards. All right, Spawn. There you go. Like it. Let's see here. All right. And second to last slide of the night. So this was like, I could go either way on any of these, but I just thought it was tight. I always, when I was a kid, going after Transformers, I always went with like the nastiest sounding name for Transformers. So like back in the day, Fortress Maximus. I don't remember. I do remember this, but I was more a Metroplex guy. This was just too much heat for me. But this is a CIB. Obviously, you can kind of tell by the upper left-hand corner of the box there. But Fortress Maximus seal went for CIB went for $1,500. But on the lower right-hand corner here, for you Guns N' Roses or music fans, I had to take a double take. So this is IGS sealed. It looks really clean with the black and white. I think it just matches the cassette itself. But the grade on the seal is a 9, as well as the cassette tape. So you're looking at a Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction and a 9.0 with the seal and the cassette for $1,500. I gotta go with the Guns N' Roses. I think it just because it presents better, it's graded. I know that definitely helps it. But no, I'll take the yeah. Omar's right there with me. Guns N' Roses tape for sure. So I just thought that was a cool find when I was looking for these, and it was all good. So all right, next up we got. I wish 78 points was here for this one, but hopefully you'll catch on the rewind. This is our last slide of the night, fellas. And whatever, fellas. Supreme Duffel Bag, Louis Vuitton collab from, gosh, what was that, like 10 years ago? Went for $5,000. And just kind of I wish the guys were here to talk about Ahsoka and kind of their opinion about it. But this lightsaber, Dave Filoni Ahsoka lightsaber signed, went for also $5,000. Now, throughout the week, Ralph was kind of talking about how great the last episode was. It was such a different episode to me. I think, people were talking about like the death and destruction of Star Wars and Disney that doesn't really know what they're doing and all that stuff. And I mean, I think overall they're really struggling. However, this episode, I watched it with my little niece, and she's like, she's like 7 or 8 years old. I actually don't remember the exact age she is, but she loved this episode, and I loved it too. I think it made her more interested into other Star Wars genres like Rebels and just the world in general. Whereas like before, I don't think kids really dig it. But that lightsaber don't light up. Give me the back. I love it. Lightsaber all day over the DH gate bag for me. I appreciate it. Transformers over pre-fat Axel. Oh my god, man. I love it. Dude, the chat is on fire today. Volsey, Maximus. Yeah. It was cool. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat while I was going through slides, but yeah. The bag baloney is a fraud. Oh yeah. I just thought it was like a cool find, to be honest. When I'm trying to find these like slides or whatever, it's kind of tough to keep y'all entertained and all that. But yeah, we're 20 minutes in. Yeah, again, sorry, kind of a slow day or slow week, I would say, other than Star Wars and baseball, but kind of sorry we couldn't get everyone on stage today. Just some conflicting issues, and I think Marcus is finding the next Tupac or something in LA. I'm not sure, but I appreciate you all coming through, supporting the show. We had 5 live today. Quick 20-minute show just to keep you all happy for a Thursday. We'll see. I don't know if we'll see you next week. I got some stuff going on with just a house purchase and stuff next week, so I may be out next Thursday, but the other guys may be on. I'm not sure their schedules and just kind of God, I got some shit on my lips or chat. Anyway, too much eating before the show. But I hope you guys all have a good week. letting you go early so you can watch some Thursday Night Football. Good luck on your fantasy teams this weekend. I'll be giving away some stuff on my show on on Sunday for the Nerd 10:30 a.m. and I'm gonna try and do some new stuff for this channel and my own channel as well. So appreciate everyone's support. You'll have a great night and take care.